Once again, welcome to another session in coding. We're looking at functions in JavaScript. So first of all, let's understand what functions are. Functions are the fundamental building blocks of JavaScript. They allow us to encapsulate reusable code blocks, making our code more modular and maintainable. In simple terms, a function is a block of code that performs a specific task. So a function performs a what? A specific task. So if your function is performing tasks that are not specific, then that function is not really um, it doesn't really make sense to use a function in that case. So functions are usually used to perform specific tasks. So you can take input parameters and can also return value. Functions can do that. Now let's look at declaring a function. We have this block of code here. We are declaring the function right here. And if you look very well, we have comments before each code or block of code. The reason why we are having these comments is to explain this code to us so that we don't get confused, right? And that's the best way to program. The best way to write code is to have comments added to your code so that it will explain it to you in the future when you want to rework on that code, or even explain it to another developer working on that project as well. So that's why we use comments in our code base. So in this case, we are using comments, and in line one, we say declaring a function, and that is what declaration of function is here. Calling a function, this is we calling the function, right? Returning values from a function. So we create a function, add, and then we return values from that function. So you can see that this source code is very self-explanatory. And one other thing you need to look at in this source code is we have a task here, right? Your task is to write a function that calculates the square of a given number. But before you do that, look at this block of code here. That is this function that we have here that calculates area of a shape, right? So this is the area of a rectangle, I guess. Now, when you look at this closely, you can understand how to solve this task that we have here. But if you tried and you can't solve it, I already have it on this source code, but I commented it so you can look for it and find it. And then when you find it, that is if you can't solve it on your own, you now find it. What your task will now be converting that to an arrow function, right? That will be your task. So this is the result of our code that we have there, or that we've written there. This is what it will output. So what you're going to do is when you finish a function and you call it, just come straight to the console and check the result before you do the next one. So you know which one is which, right? So the next live session that we're going to have, we're going to ask our questions in case some things are not clear so that we can talk about it and discuss further. Once again, thank you for joining, and happy coding.